So Anthology is a new project for Highly Sprung, and it's an opportunity for us to engage in the GCSE poetry curriculum. So we've invited together a group of young people, probably young people who feel that they struggle with the anthology at school. And the end point of the project will be that they will work together to create a performance, working with professional performers. So the young people are acting as choreographers, directors, producers, to produce something as a response to the anthology.
And it's a good bunch of poems that we're going to be studying and writing our own poems and spoken word off. And then that will be taken and made into a performance with the Highly Sprung professionals, and they will make that into a show, and we as the young people will be the directors, and then they'll tour that show around the UK, and then we'll do some spoken word and poetry performance at Warwick Arts Centre.
Well, combining poetry with creative arts is it's giving people a new perspective to how poetry inspires people, and it's making poetry more fun instead of just sitting in a classroom. School has kind of pushed people away from poetry because the first time that they're ever introduced to poetry, it's sort of just analysing and taking all the fun out of poetry instead of what it's supposed to be.
Some people do, but most people I know, they don't really like poetry. Some people, when they're given like the option to do it, they just decline it because they think it's weird. But some people actually just say, yeah, I'll do it, like I did.
But I suppose we'll find the meanings behind it and then try and put that into our movements.
I think it's interesting because through physical theatre you can get lots of movement and dance, and there's also the components of acting, and with them all together it sort of forms into one and makes a really beautiful piece of movement of words. Without Highly Sprung, I don't think I'd ever have this opportunity really.
And yeah, it's just a really wonderful place to be when you've got people that care and that want to help you.
For Highly Sprung, the reason I really like it is because it's a safe place where I can enjoy myself.
I feel that definitely more people should try this because it's gave me a new perspective on how poetry is.
Today we've been looking into, at the beginning, the structure of poetry, what goes into a poem, all the features and the word features and how they're structured and stuff. And then we looked into the ways poems what messages they're trying to bring across.
Being the first day, it's gone quite well. It's been definitely an experience, and it's definitely been new.
I'm looking forward to the process quite a lot because physical theatre helps me a lot, especially now, even today, the understanding of these poems that I've never seen before. I even understand these quite a bit more than I do my normal poems that I do at school and stuff.
So my name is John Bernard, I'm the Coventry Poet Laureate, and what I do is I use poetry, use creative writing, use music to engage young people who are on the fringe of being suspended, expelled from school, young people who are looking to kind of delve into the creative side of things as well, but don't know how to. And my duty is kind of reinforce the fact of there's beauty in the arts, and it's about figuring out ways we can use that to help them sort of navigate their emotions and process it in a way that's not really normalized in a school context, in a sense, yeah.
Today we're going to look at, with John, some poems, and we're going to create some more poetry and spoken word based off those poems.
I'm Jasmine Gardosi. I am Birmingham's Poet Laureate. I'm also a beatboxer, and I travel the UK and Europe performing poems, running workshops and writing commissions. Having them go away with this idea that, gosh, actually maybe I can, and then to see them have their words taken seriously when perhaps they haven't had that all too many times before, taken seriously enough for professional dancers to interpret those words, that's unique. This concept is unique. I'm very happy to be a part of it.
I think for me, listening back to what they've written, I'm like, whoa, I'm amazed. You know what I mean? Sometimes it takes a whole month to write one poem, but they've collaboratively written a whole poem in the space of 1 hour, you know what I mean, which is incredible in that sense, so yeah.
So we're in week 2, and there has been quite a lot of development since we first started the project. The young people have come together 3 times now, and on each occasion they've really had a chance to get a more in-depth understanding of the poems that we've been exploring. On Wednesday we worked with Jasmine Gardosi, who was able to give a very different perspective on poetry writing, and also performed for us, mixing poetry and beatboxing. And it's just seeing the young people develop their own ideas and create the words that are then going to be translated into the performance.
So, it being week 3, I think the performance being next week is insane. Like, to think that it's come around so quickly, and the fact that we've got a play out of just some poems that we started writing, I think that's absolutely amazing how quickly it's developed.
So today's session, we've been reworking on some of the material that we had created. From a starting point of the words of the young people, we had created some material, some movement material, and today we showed them what we've made, and they gave us feedback, and with their help and their input, we refined the movement, we looked at intentions and feelings to make that even more impactful.
Having made the piece with young people will mean that audiences of young people who the show is kind of aimed at will feel that they can see more of themselves reflected in it.
If we get those young people involved in the performance, then hopefully the authenticity is there, and it's woven within the DNA of the production.
I think it's good because we should get the power to do what adults do.
I think it's going very good, and the dancers have been creating really good movements with what we've come up with.
But yeah, we actually had a poetry lesson the other week in school, and I actually understood half what the teacher was saying now, and it's definitely got better since coming to this.
My attitude throughout this project has definitely changed towards poetry. I'm really looking forward to the performance next week, as I know my teacher and some of my friends are coming.
Oh, it's super important that young people are right at the centre of any work that we show as part of the Creative Learning projects, because they're the future. They're the ones that have the voice. We really want to amplify their voices. We want to platform them. We want to inspire them as well, and make sure that their ambitions are as big as our ambitions for them.
For me, I think it was amazing to see it all come together. I think it was incredible. Everyone started crying. It was a really fun experience. I'm so happy to finally see it all together, and I feel like I'm going to cry again now.
Seeing the final product with the dance as well, that was exceptional. Really hard-hitting stuff, really hard-hitting.
It went really well, and I really liked it, so yeah.
I cried. I cried near the end at the last poem.
They are overwhelmed with the validity that their words and their voice have been given. Yeah, it's been pretty incredible.
People need to feel that they're in control of the subject matter that they are kind of experiencing, but also as well, young people need to have opportunities to become the creatives and leaders in the future. So who's going to give them their first steps if it's not organisations like Highly Sprung?